Hi Aries, welcome to your May 2020 Astrology 33 reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, I'm actually going to be taking a bit of a break from those, but keep an eye out on the community section of the channel where I'll make an update there if I start those up again soon. Or worst case, if it ends up being a longer break, by the time I do the June videos, I'll give you guys an update then. As far as what we have in front of us, we have a Celtic Cross spread as always. Then I also pulled a couple of Oracle cards for you guys and a Mudra card. So getting started with the main spread. The main situation position, we have the Death card and the Two of Pentacles. So this is actually the major arcana card for Scorpio energy, and then this is actually a card that represents the first 10 degrees of Capricorn. So what I feel like this is saying that for the majority of you is that you're finally going to be making a decision between two sources of income. So for example, it could be maybe you have two job offers on the table and this is the month where you finally make a decision. For some of you, maybe, for example, you have a primary job and then you've had a side business that you started up and maybe you've been trying to keep them both going, but you're starting to realize, okay, it might not be sustainable to run them both. So maybe you decide to make a decision in that regard. And as far as timing goes, we have a full moon in Scorpio this month. So I feel like you might be making a decision around that time. And I do have to say for some of you as well, this could even be around a romantic relationship where maybe you've been dating a couple of people and now you actually might decide to, go a little bit further with one of those people and cut off the other connection. So that's what I see going down there. In the challenge or obstacle position, we have the Justice card. So this is actually the major arcana card for Libra. So of course for you guys, that's your opposite house of relationships. So that's another indicator that it definitely can be around relationships for some of you. And like I said, maybe you were trying to decide between, again, maybe you were dating two people. Okay, which one do I want to actually pursue something long term with, right? For others of you, this can just be saying that there might have been money held up for you guys, and maybe that could have been what was at play regarding the finances as well. So, for example, let's say you own a small business. I know a lot of small businesses have been waiting for loans to come through with all this craziness that's going down right now. And maybe that was the holdup. And if that's the case, it looks like this month, again, going back to that Scorpio full moon time primarily, you might see some forward movement there. And for others of you, this could just be saying that this might have been a decision you've been trying to weigh your options on for a long time too, and really trying to do what's best for everyone involved. So that's what I see there, and that's why it's showing up as a challenge, because normally justice and fairness wouldn't be a challenge, right? But again, if you feel like there's maybe no winning option, quote unquote, it might have been what really kept you held up for a while trying to make that decision. And let's see if anything else comes to mind with this. And for some of you, this can be something that maybe you started to consider around the time of the Libra full moon that we had. So, could be the timeline there between the Libra full moon and now that full moon coming up in Scorpio. Could be when you really started to weigh these options. In the foundation position, we have the Five of Wands. So, for some of you, this can just be pointing again to your career where maybe you've just had a lot of options on the table, or maybe it's just a very competitive environment that you're working in, and maybe you could have even been deciding, did you want to continue down that path as well? So again, if you have two sources of income, maybe one, you're in a highly competitive field, and then there's another option that might be a little bit more fulfilling, maybe a bit more of a risk financially, because for example, maybe it'd be your own business you're running on your own, so there might not be that financial security, but you might just feel like you're more at peace with that type of environment. That could be the comparison that you're looking at there. And again, this can also be for romance for some of you, which is to say that, again, maybe you've just been, really exploring a lot of options, and now you're actually getting to the point where you're narrowing those down and considering a long-term commitment. In the past position, we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. So this is actually a card that represents the last 10 degrees of Virgo. So for you guys, that's your house of work, day-to-day routine. And, here I'm seeing that maybe there was some financial success in the past for you guys, but maybe you were weighing your options as far as, okay, well, can I actually take this financial success that I had to this point and maybe invest that into another venture, right? So that could have been what you guys were thinking of. Again, here's just a generic example where maybe you guys have had that corporate job for a long time, right? Maybe it's giving you a lot of financial success, but maybe it's not emotionally fulfilling. So you might have been thinking, okay, I have a lot of money saved up here. Is it possible for me to take that and turn that into something? Again, like I said, if you wanted to go into business for yourself, like, can I start my own business with the financial success I've had in the 9 to 5 day job and maybe make that my full time gig, right? So maybe in the temporary basis, you were trying to do both. Like, okay, I'll keep the day job for this financial stability, and then in the meantime, I'll try to get this side gig off the ground and see, okay, is it possibly sustainable in the long term? So that could have been what some of you guys were doing as far as that goes. All right, in the present position, we have the Five of Swords. So this is actually similar energy to the Five of Wands, but maybe even a little bit more cunning, no pun intended, with the swords involved. But what I'm seeing here more than anything for a lot of you, I feel like this is you guys actually walking away from that type of environment. So again, like I was saying, maybe if you guys have been in a ultra competitive work, a work situation, maybe you're deciding to leave that behind. Maybe with all the financial situations going on right now, for example, maybe that brought out the worst in some people that you work with, right? So let's just say, as a random example, you're like in a commission-based sales thing or something like that, and now that there's so much more financial doubt in the air, people might have really started to show their true colors around you, and you're like, okay, you know what, that's, maybe it's something you were already considering leaving behind anyway. Again, like I said, trying to get your own thing off the ground. And maybe that was just like the final straw where you're like, okay, I just need to get out of here. For some of you, this can just represent maybe even what the issue is as far as romantic relationships, too. It could be that there could be a lot of outside interference in this connection. And maybe you guys weren't aware of it in the past, but maybe now it's coming to your attention that, okay, if there has been some issues between you and the person you've been dealing with, it could be that there has been some outside interference and people trying to break the two of you apart. All right, in the near future position, we have the Ten of Cups. So this is actually Pisces energy and vastly different energy from the Five of Swords, right? So you're like, well, what changes so quickly? So again, like I said, I feel like for a lot of you, this is you deciding to walk away from that type of environment. And in doing so, it looks like it'll bring you a lot of happiness. And what really stands out to me here is that if we look at the Death card, it looks like they're moving away from the pentacle energy, right, and moving towards the cup energy. So this could even be just one of those things where, as you guys know, Saturn recently moved out of your 10th house of career and social status. So maybe this was even something that you guys have, you've built up that financial success with all that energy you guys have had going through your 10th house too. You might have even been obsessive about your career, and maybe in the process it helped you out financially, but maybe it burned you out spiritually a little bit too. And now you're like, okay, especially seeing how quickly things can be taken away now with all the financial uncertainty going on in the world, that might have really made you reconsider, like, okay, at the end of the day, is it worth putting all my energy into this if it could all be taken away, right? And maybe it's just having you reprioritize and maybe focus a little bit more on your love life or just your family relationships, for example. And for some of you, like I said, if there's more of a thing where you had two decisions on the table where, okay, I could stick with the tried and true, right, safe, corporate type gig, or I could go with something that's more emotionally fulfilling to me, but maybe not as, financially secure of a decision. It looks like a lot of you might be deciding to go with that option. In the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Nine of Swords. So, not too surprising to see this energy pop up here, because with that Death card, like I said, I feel like this is a decision you've probably been weighing for a long time. And with the Justice card and the challenge position too, like I said, where you're really trying to look at it from every angle and try to do what's best for all parties involved. So this could be saying that this has been weighing you down for a while now. But I will say, when we get a lot of energy going through the sign of Gemini, which, it's already starting. We have Venus there. I don't think Mercury's there yet. Hold on, let me take a look. Yeah, Mercury's going to get there in the second week of the month, and then obviously the sun will get there towards the end of the month. So I feel like when that energy starts to go into Gemini, you might actually feel a little bit swifter as far as making decisions and communication. So this should be an energy you might start to see dissipate as the month goes along. In the position of the environment, we have the Hanged Man. So this could just be an indicator that just the energies at play have led you to be in this type of state lately, where you've been looking at things from a different perspective, right? A lot of us who maybe we did have plans, right? A lot of us had plans and they were put on hold. So that kind of forced that hangman situation for a lot of us, where we had no choice but to sit around and look at what our options are, right? See if there's another possible way out of a situation. So I feel like this is just saying, for some of you, yes, this could point to another person, and if that's the case, possibly even a Pisces that you might be dealing with. But more importantly, I feel like this is just the energy that's been brought out, right? And especially for some of you, if you weren't like a traditional corporate job, right? Maybe you guys had, with the stay-at-home orders, maybe that changed your work life, and maybe you've been like, okay, well, I've been starting this, gig on the side anyway. And maybe now you're reconsidering, well, maybe it's not as unrealistic to follow it as I thought, right? Because if there's a lot of uncertainty regarding job security and even the quote unquote traditional jobs now, then you really might be like, well, I might as well do something that's going to make me happy in the meantime. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Knight of Swords. So I feel like this isn't just more of a hope on your part, which is to say you just want to actually finally make that decision and get that movement going. And again, I do feel like we're finally going to get there with the Death card, but this might have been, especially with that Nine of Swords energy there, something that you've really been weighing your options on for a long time, really trying to, again, do what's best for all parties involved. And now the energies shift this month, and it looks like you might finally get there. And in the outcome position, we have the Fool. So to me, this is another indicator that you're going to finally take that leap this month. Like I said, whatever this decision that you've been considering between two different options, it looks like you're finally going to go there. For a lot of you, I'm really feeling like probably 80% of you, this is definitely more financial. But for some of you, again, it can be around a romantic relationship as well. And like I said, maybe it's just that you might have been seeing a couple of people, and now one of them, you might have decided, okay, I could actually see myself in a more serious connection with them, and maybe you decide to pursue that. And at the bottom of the deck, we had the Hierophant card. And I do have to say that for a lot of you, again, I feel like this is just an indicator saying that, up to this point, you might have had that very stable, secure, corporate type job, which has brought you some success, but not necessarily fulfillment. And again, I feel like with the energies at play right now, you've started to reconsider, like, okay, well, is there another way? And especially with the Eight of Pentacles underneath that, that could definitely be saying that now you're actually going to, I always refer to this card as the person's quite literally making their own money in the artwork, right? So I view this as an entrepreneur type card. So it could just be saying that you're deciding to invest more in yourself this month. All right, moving on to the Oracle cards. First, we have Serendipity. There's the artwork, and the number is 18. Okay, it says opportunity allied with readiness, the awareness of synchronicity, luck and good fortune appearing as signs and symbols, a magical alignment of events. The Oracle's message: you've stepped into alignment with the greater good, where your dreams and the collective dream resonate in exquisite harmony. Now is the time for luck and preparation to meet and create miracles that you could never have planned all by yourself. Keep in mind that you are a channel for providence right now, as a higher energy uses you as a force on behalf of the whole world. Your fortune becomes everyone's fortune. Everything you bring into being now will leave a wondrous legacy for others in the future. Your service to the world is being supported at this time. Expect the unexpected and smile, for Spirit loves you so very much. So definitely a pretty supportive message there. Hopefully that resonated with you guys. The relationship message says Spirit has a plan, and that plan is to place you in front of the right person at the right time. You have met or are about to meet someone vitally important to your journey, someone Spirit wants to bring into your life. Only divine forces can plan this meeting. It is out of your hands. Pay attention to the signs Spirit presents. So definitely an interesting message there too, and I have to say that maybe even for some of you what this could be saying is maybe some of you might actually cut out a relationship that you've been in, and after doing so you might actually meet someone new. Although I have to say if it's someone completely brand new, you might want to be a little bit worried about that and just take it a little slow, because we are going to have Venus retrograde this month, so definitely something to watch out for there. Okay, the prosperity message says you're in the right place at the right time. Be grateful, for the stars are aligned in your favor and fortune is smiling on you. Victory and success are yours. The choices you have made in the past have prepared you for the opportunities before you now. This is your lucky moment. The timing is perfect. So definitely an interesting message there, as far as it said the choices you have made in the past have prepared you for the opportunities now before you. I could even see that as, like I said, maybe in the past, especially with all the energy you guys had going through your 10th house, and there's still quite a bit there, don't get me wrong, but maybe when especially Saturn being there, you might have really been almost obsessive with your career, and maybe that actually got you up the ladder and got you financial success. But like I said, maybe now with the uncertainty going on, you're starting to realize, well, I could use some of that, whether it be actual physical money or just resources and experience, towards something that would more emotionally fulfill me. So that could be how it's playing out for some of you. All right, and moving on to the next card. We have Bobcat Spirit. It says life is a mystery. There's the artwork, and the number is 8. Okay, it says the Bobcat moves furtively and mysteriously, and when Bobcat Spirit appears to you, she brings a powerful reminder that not all things in life can be explained or understood through the power of the intellect. Trying to figure things out, find logical explanations, or predict what will happen based on reason and facts will not provide you with the certainty and comfort you seek. Bobcat asks you to trust in the great mystery and let the secrets of the universe reveal themselves to you through direct experience. Allow your vision to slip into soft focus, and you will see between the lines and observe what has been hidden there all along. Bobcat Spirit helps you know intimately the pulse of the divine in the world. Trust in the wisdom and revelations that come to you, yet know that understanding may not come as you would like it to. What you experience through your heart and intuition, which comes to you as the voice of your inner knowing, will guide you now, as you accept that secrecy is woven into the fabric of existence. No matter what, the appearance of Bobcat Spirit is a sign that you are being called to trust, even when what is revealed does not agree with your need for intellectual certainty. So definitely an interesting message there. And maybe that's even what that Justice card could be pointing to, or where maybe you have been relying more on logic and fact, right? And maybe with the Death card, and then we see the Ten of Cups, the Hangman, these are a lot of more water and emotion type energies, intuitive energies. So maybe you're moving more towards that now with what's at play. So hopefully that resonated for you guys. And I would say definitely, again, I feel like that full moon could be important for you guys in that regard too. Especially that full moon is going to be trine Neptune in Pisces, which is your 12th house. So you might even get like some kind of intuitive insight around that time, or maybe like this insightful dream or something like that. So definitely keep an eye out for that full moon. All right, and the last thing we have is a mudra for you guys. And you guys got the Svadhisthana Chakra Mudra. There it is there, and the keyword for it is adaptability. Okay, there's a lot of info on this card, so what I'll do is hold it up so you guys can either pause it or take a screenshot for the first part, and then I'll move it up so you could see the rest. Okay, so under benefits, it says increases ability to adapt to change, opens creativity and the ability to spontaneously respond to any situation, increases capacity for intimacy with self, others, and the environment, benefits the reproductive system, increases fertility, and tonifies the blood. So if that sounds like something you think would be beneficial for you guys, I'll leave the name of that mudra in the description as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.